Smoke when we all celebrate success, so now we. Yeah, that's right, you know we. I thought I told you that we.
Hey guys, just another quick update for you. I did actually do some work on Tuesday night, but unfortunately my memory card on this camera failed. So all of that footage is lost. It's about 30 minutes. Quite cheesed off, but anyway. I took out the brake linkage assembly to the master cylinder, because obviously I want to spray this master cylinder. So you can see I also took out the hard line here, just to get a better angle at the master cylinder. We will deal with that in a second. So I'm going to give this thing a wipe down with some meths, because while it's off I might as well just clean everything up. There's a little bit of overspray, well not overspray, I think it's just some polish, some powder from the polish. So I'll wipe that down. So here's the master cylinder, and I'll show you the issue I was having. So this bolt, this piece of crap right here, this is actually stripped. Now I don't know why every bolt on the entire linkage assembly, even on the inside of the vehicle, is different. They were all old rusty bolts. They weren't that bad, except this guy here looks like it was someone tried to force it on here with a vice grip, and they've actually now stripped it. So I went and I bought these spanners because they have a bit of a deeper neck. So when I was trying to use my normal spanners, those are straight, so I wasn't actually able to get onto this bolt at all. I was really just clipping the top here, but not actually getting the meat of the bolt. So I went and I bought these guys. These were pretty cheap. They were about 60 bucks a pop. So you can see now, boom, I can get really good purchase, but because the bolt is stripped, you know, it just slides right off. So I'm kind of at a loss here on what to do next. I do want to clean this up and spray it, but without getting this flippin' bolt off here, it's a bit difficult. So I'm going to have another crack at it just now. I'm wondering if I shouldn't go, this is a 13 mil. I'm wondering if I shouldn't just go and get a 12, because these are pretty cheap. So get a 12, hammer it on here nice and tight, and then force this thing off. That's something I might have to consider doing tomorrow. So yeah, it's not the ideal way, but I have bought new bolts. So let's go have a look at those quick. Oh, and I also bought I bought new nuts. Let's just have a look real quick. So these black bolts, these are high tensile bolts. These are actually for the bumper brackets. These locking nuts are going to replace the mix set on the master cylinder. And then the rest of these bolts, these are normal sort of stainless steel M8 bolts. They're going to standardize all the bolts on the brake linkage and on the inside bracket here. Now I've got something else to show you. This is a bit of a repeat of Tuesday's video, but unfortunately you guys will never see that video, so I'll just have to. So this is what I'm pretty cheesed off about. Let's get the light on here so you can see. All of that money for a respray, and this oak misses a spot. So they obviously left this bracket in place, sprayed, took it off, and then sprayed the bracket nice and shiny, and never went back and fixed this. So I'm going to give this right now a bit of a wipe down with some meths just to keep the surface clean, and then I tried to match it as close as possible. However, you'll see it might work, might be a bit dark, but this luckily is under a dashboard, under carpet, under soundproofing and all the rest of it. So if it doesn't match, nobody has to see or even know about it except you guys who are seeing this video. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a bit of a wash. I'm going to take some duct tape just on the other side and close up these holes. Give everything a bit of a blast, let it dry, blast it again, and then we'll touch base. So I'll be with you guys in a few minutes and we'll have a look and see what this looks like. Well, what do you guys think? Almost a good color match, I think. This is just obviously coat 1. I will come back and do another coat once it's dried. I want to give it a few minutes to dry properly, so I've opened the garage doors just to let some air in. You'll see I ended up not doing the duct tape thing, but luckily there wasn't too much penetration into the engine bay. No, actually none, so that's good. So then at least that's a little bit of a progress, I guess. Well, that's coat number 2. You see there's some overspray all over my soundproofing, but again, I'm not really worried about that. It probably would have been totally unnecessary, but it would irritate me knowing that it's like that. So I'm going to leave this to dry, and then we'll do coat number 3, and we should be done here. Let me show you something I found, which I'm quite pleased and a little bit upset about, but I'll show you why. Now I mentioned that I've been doing a stock take of all the bits and pieces, and this is one of the things I found. This is they call it a check strap. It's not really a strap. It's actually a rod. I suppose that would be a more accurate name for it, a door check rod. And let me show you what this guy does. I've mentioned it previously. Let's turn that light off, and I'll show you on the passenger door, because that for some reason is the only one that's fitted. So what does it do? Stops the door from opening further than this, and that's literally its only function. And why is that important? Well, if you open the door too far, you run the risk of damaging the inside of the fender. So it stops it right there, and you're able to get in and out quite comfortably without damaging the fender. So yeah, we're making some progress. Let's have a look at the engine bay. Obviously guys, this is just sort of pass one. I am going to come back and do the rest. You see, I didn't get into all the nooks and crannies, but a majority of it is clean. It's ready for the bracket and everything to go on. I'm starting to think I may, if I can't get this nut out, I may need to go and get another one of these boosters and then cut this thing off. This is an old one anyway. Replacing it would save me having to spray it. It's not what I wanted to do, but I mean, them's the brakes, right? Oh yeah, while I'm here. So I found the bolts. This is where the rear seat belts would attach to, and obviously the actual seat belt would attach up here, and this is where the lugs would fit, the receivers. So this is quite nice to have. I was worried about what I was going to do here. You see, you've got these holes here and there, so I'll just take some duct tape and seal these up, or maybe even some roof aluminium tape, seal those up. Obviously soundproofing is going to go over here, so it'll just be sort of a first layer and then the soundproofing go over. Now these are nice to have because when I build the false floor, these will anchor the false floor in place. So I just put them here to sort of occupy the space that I know where they are. So I'm going to get them both finger tight here. So that's handy to have. I need to clean all this up, and I need to find on my wiring harness and run, this is for the fuel gauge, so sort of a 2-pin plug here, it'll come out here. This was for a ground strap of something, I can't remember what, but I seem to think the ground or the earth will go here, and then the signal will head back to the fuse box and then ultimately to the gauge. Now these are interesting. These are for the back seat base. I was trying to think if I can incorporate these to sort of lock down the false floor. I'm going to need to do some playing around here, but these ultimately might just have to just be covered up. I'm not going to take them off because one day if I ever decide to, you know, fit a back seat, those are sort of important. They latch the base to the body, so those will stay. And the stock take is going to continue for a while, I guess. Now there's a triangular piece of plastic I need to try and find. You can kind of see the shape there. That puts tension on the door rubbers. Now my car never had them, or at least they were lost many years ago. God knows what's happened to this poor vehicle in its lifetime, but I'll fix it. So yeah guys, I'm going to do another coat there in about 10 minutes, but I think we're going to leave the video here. Not a very long update, it's just to show you that we are slowly chipping away. I want to get this engine bay finished. Obviously I still need to do the brake lines, I still need to do the fuel lines. Need to clean this hard line in once the bracket and everything is in place, put that back. I want to get all of this stuff out the way so I can start with this engine and gearbox. Put that stuff in, hook up the drive shafts, and you know, get cracking with the wiring harness. I want to do the wiring, or at least have the wiring in place before I do the soundproofing, which will obviously cover. I need to clean this whole floor before I stick anything onto it. So I'll give that a wipe down with some thinners or some methylated spirits or something. I need to fix this freaking handbrake. I don't know what I'm going to do there, guys. Need to call him some favors or something. Oh yeah, and then obviously this here shift, I don't know why this would be bent. I need to find my straight one, and we need to get cracking with that as well. That'll probably happen on the weekend. But yeah, let's leave the video there, guys, and we will touch base hopefully on Sunday when I've done some more work on this vehicle. And hopefully by Sunday all of this is back together. These things are clean. I'm going to buy some Brasso probably tomorrow, clean up these hard lines, get the master cylinder and the brake booster back in, need cracking, get this thing a little bit more complete. I need to buy a rivet gun, put the bonnet latch in there. I need to clean this up. You see, this is the stock part. Now it doesn't look so bad on the unresprayed vehicle, but against the new body, you know, or the newly resprayed body, all of the original stuff looks really, really shite. So some people say just replace it. I'm sure I could polish this up with some Brasso once I've got it. So let's see what I end up doing there. Cheers for now, guys. And we're back. Watching the video back, I realized I forgot to tell you why I was peeved about this check strap. Well, isn't it obvious? This is supposed to be straight. I don't know what these Muppets at the panel beater did when they took this thing out, but they bent it. It's jammed up solid. So I'm going to need to make a plan to get this vise set up and see if I can bend this straight and then clean it up. If not, I guess it's time to import a new set for the vehicle. That comes with new, well, I can get new bolts, so that's not really an issue, but the check strap, if I can't fix it, I'm going to have to replace it. Luckily there's no rush. I mean, this car's not going anywhere anytime soon, but that's what I was miffed about, guys. But if I have to replace one, I'm just going to buy a set. I don't want to have one manky looking one and one, you know, shiny new one. I also need to get the pins, new locking pins. So I think you guys can kind of work out where I'm going with this. If our rand can stop tanking against the pound and the dollar, it would help. But I'm going to have to bite the bullet on these, and if I'm going to buy a small item like this, I might as well just go whole hog and get everything on my wish list. But yeah, guys, how embarrassing. I forgot to tell you the whole point of that last few minutes of the video. Okay, now we're done. Hi guys, thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more and be kept up to date, please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe to my channel. With your help, we can get this project complete and move on to the next one. Bye for now.